The Shlumpedcast.
If abortions didn't exist, there would be more orphans and more child abuse. I agree with that. Because, I mean, like we said earlier, you can't afford them, or like your lifestyle is just way different from where it should be. Those children are going to grow up mentally unstable in some ways, because you know what they might go through.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
it's kind of fucked up to be a child growing up and being like, I was born unwanted. My parents didn't want me, love me,
Mm-hmm.
And I think orphanages are beautiful, but a sad place. Beautiful because unwanted children or some children with no parents, they have a great place to go to. But on the other hand, is like they're unwanted and they're growing around other kids that are thinking like that too. So I think it's pretty jacked up. And
it's kind of jacked up how they put them all in one place, though. Kind of like separated. They should be more like spread, not just to people like themselves, but just like around other people too, so they can get that different mindset. Saying that things could be different, not just like you said earlier, they don't want me.
As a pro-choice, I mean, this statement I'm about to make, I mean, it's kind of like the murder thing, but it's like, do you consider adopting a child? Do you support orphanages? Do you give back to orphanages or whatnot? What have you done for orphanages? Or like I said, child abuse? Do you support child services or whatnot?
Yeah, like if you're so pro-life, then what are you doing to prove it?
If orphanages is a choice, then are you improving their life?
Yeah,
for that child, or you're just not giving a shit about them and life is life or whatever? That's not know. What do you think? What do you guys think?
You want to go or you want me to go?
I feel that orphanages are a great thing, because if orphanages were not, available or existing at all, where would these kids go? What would be of them?
And most orphans with foster parents are living a great life because adoption and whatnot. So it's a beautiful place.
But a lot of foster homes be really run down.
And to be honest with you, you guys got to think about it on both ways too. Like, there are a lot of stories where, because I used to have a friend in high school that was raised in an orphanage.
Orphanage.
Thank you.
Orphanages.
Orphanage. And she was 16 years old at the time, and she had literally been to 13 different homes, and out of those 13, 7
like
of
foster homes. Yeah,
I'm sorry, thank you. Out of those 13, out of those 7 different families or homes, there had been some kind of type of abuse or rape.
Because they take advantage, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody's really there looking out for them. They just know they're in a place. They don't know how the place is.
You should start a podcast, Stacey. You're going to transition us. We got child abuse on that statement, too. Yeah. Anything on child abuse?
Like I said, it's kind of fucked up. I mean, yeah, you give them a place to all to go, but that don't mean they're living a happy life,
Right.
Yeah.
Anything add on, Hunter?
Not all orphans, their parents didn't want them. Their parents died. They were in their car
wreck.
most
of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
But let's say unwanted wise.
Unwanted wise, yeah, no. There would be less of them, because if they didn't want them in the first place, they could go get an abortion.
Save them from the life.
Save them from a life where they don't feel...
They feel unwanted.
Yeah, so
I don't think that ever changed. I mean, they could change.
But like I said, you can always see the argument that people are going to make. Like, oh, you're saving them, but you chose to have them. Or not chose, but you're the reason why.
Yeah.
Now, on child abuse...
Up anyway.
On child abuse, I read an article where it's like, well, most child abuse comes from parents that want the child and they choose to do so and so, and nothing I can say about that. But other words, say the parents didn't want them, and then they decide to have the child. What reason would they have the child? If they didn't have the child, they didn't want the child, but they have it anyway. Why do you think they would instead of abortion?
I don't know if this goes for anybody, but I've heard some instances where they use it for money. Get child support.
Yes. Yeah.
It could go both male and female.
And a lot of stories I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and like the really fucked up ones, the serial killers, they grow up in like abusive homes or whatever, and then the parents will be like, what's a bad statement they would say? It's like I wish you were never born or stuff like that, or I didn't
Yeah.
even want to, for whatever reason they chose to have them, but then they grow up their whole life like the parents saying in their face, I never wanted to have you, whatnot. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'd rather die than be tortured. That's my statement. No correlation, but whatever. What do you think on child abuse? Abortions and child abuse.
About that.
Anything?
I don't think I have anything to say about it.
Anything?
About child abuse?
Yeah. Or abortion. The one he was
Oh,
talking
both. Like,
Or both.
yeah.
about. Or like the
relationship.
parent actually
Yeah.
shows that.
So
like,
most of the
abuse,
time, yeah. Well, child
Yeah.
abuse, that's a whole nother topic. But in terms of abortion, they don't want to have the child, or they never wanted the child, but for whatever reason, they have the child anyway, and then it leads to child abuse for their life. I can't think of a reason why somebody that didn't want the child chose to have the child. Well, you said money.
I mean,
That's
that's
a good
just one
reason.
option. Money,
Yeah.
or maybe to get to take all their anger out on the
Benefits or
child. 'Cause I know
whatever.
that's happened too.
Or
They take
perhaps
all
like a
their-
feel good reason. Maybe some people that perhaps are religious, maybe they don't want to live with the guilt conscious
You know
effect
what?
of it.
Yeah. Most people have abortions because career wise too, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I was talking about earlier, being frowned upon for doing that. Like, say if you got your career and later on,
Yeah, you
you're
find-
going for a high
Yeah.
position, then look through your history, oh look, she's
yeah,
having
like
an abortion
yeah,
before.
like oh, you're not married, but you're having a baby. Oh, I can't let nobody find out about this. So from a pro-choice, yeah, go ahead. But from a pro-life, it's like, well, you made that decision, so you're gonna ride on that decision.